Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with On Point Politics, and today I'm going to be going over my latest state categorizations as of right now based on my expanded Battleground map. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and drop a comment down below. And so, as of right now, we can see Donald Trump's already at 251 safe electoral college votes to Joe Biden's just 112 safe electoral college results. These are all of the states that I basically would pretty much at this point 100% guarantee are going to go to either party. And yes, that does include North Carolina and Georgia from the last cycle. And you may say, well, Georgia, Biden won that state last time. How would it be guaranteed to go? Well, Donald Trump leads in the aggregate by 2%. Biden led the aggregate by almost 9 points on election day and only ended up winning the popular vote by 4.5. And so now that Donald Trump's leading by 2 nationally, the state usually tends to vote to the right of the country. I really cannot see Georgia being a state that ends up going to Biden next cycle, especially because you do have a lot of African American support that's shifting away from Biden, and a similar demographic exists in a state like North Carolina. And so those two states I basically say are guaranteed to go, including Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Ohio, as well as Alaska, Maine's second congressional district. Those states I really don't expect to flip to President Biden as of right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go from west to east, basically going over all of the toss-up states that I have left up for my expanded battleground map. So Joe Biden is going to be, the favorite to win Oregon. It is in the lean column. Now, again, this is not based off of a point system. This is merely just off of a probability-esque type thing. So essentially, Oregon, I have it as like a plus 65% chance of going to Biden, for example. This is a state that voted for him by around 16 points the last cycle. However, right now, according to my latest forecast, it is only a 6-point victory. However, I don't expect Donald Trump to gain ground enough to end up flipping the state as of right now. The next state's going to be Nevada in the lean column. Yes, I have him as a 65% chance plus the favorite to win Nevada. If you look at polling, Hispanic voters are shifting towards Trump. Turnout's expected to be lower for Biden due to his unpopularity, and the state had already been trending to the right since the last cycle, and so I really cannot see it going any other way. Now, a new categorization is going to be Arizona. Arizona, I have it in the lean Republican column here. I do have it as a plus 65% chance for going to Joe Biden, for Donald Trump, because of the fact that, again, Hispanic voters are shifting to the right this cycle. Even though you may have some white suburbanites kind of trend to the left, you're going to see a huge, population shift in Arizona, heavily favored Trump this cycle. And I expect Donald Trump in my latest forecast to be winning the state by around 8 points. And in Nevada, he's actually projected to win it by 10%. So you could say that Nevada would even be safe, but I'm going to be generous and give it to Donald Trump in the plus 65% chance column as of right now. States that are in deep red are basically like a plus 95% chance to go to either party. That's where I basically have those states at. Colorado, I actually am going to put it in the lean Democrat column. I think it is favorable to go to Biden. This state has been trending to the left. It did vote for him by 13.5 points in the last election cycle. So I really can't see it, going to Donald Trump, even if Donald Trump wins the popular vote by like a ridiculous amount. Even if he's winning the popular vote by around 8 or 9, I still don't even think he'd be able to win Colorado. And so I'm going to be leaving it in the lean Democrat column. New Mexico is in the toss-up category. I actually do have it in the toss-up range because of the fact that it is a 1.7 victory for Donald Trump. So that isn't within reasonable margin of error. And I really have it going either way, to be completely honest with you. That state, I have it going either way as of right now. It is a pure toss-up in terms of my projection. The polling suggests otherwise, but based on demographic swings that are going to occur this cycle, I do see it being in that column. If we look at Minnesota, it is going to be in the toss-up category. The polling here has it really close on Decision Desk HQ. And on top of that, we can see that the state, was really close in 2016. Donald Trump was within striking distance of winning it back then, despite only losing the popular vote by around 2 percentage points. Reagan didn't even win it when he won the popular vote by 20. So Donald Trump was within striking distance of winning it. However, it did revert back, but that was mainly because due to events from that year and the very far left trending areas in the city areas for Minnesota. However, Biden's support due to the Israel-Hamas conflict, the economy, and many more issues is going to regress because of that. And so I do think his margin is going to be shrunken by quite a bit. And it really could go either way, to be honest. So I'm going to be leaving that up in the toss-up. Now, Nebraska second's interesting because Biden won it by quite a bit, but it has been redistricted, and my forecast does have it at a 6.6 percentage point margin of victory for Trump. So I'm going to be putting that in the lean column for him as of right now. I have it as a plus 65% chance going to the Republicans as of right now, which puts Donald Trump already at 269 electoral college votes. Illinois, I have it in the lean Democrat column in my forecast. The basically the projection here is really close. It's actually a lean margin as of right now. It's right below the likely margin in my rating, and so it is somewhat semi-competitive this cycle. Even polling suggests that it would be under a 10-point victory for incumbent President Biden, and so I am going to be putting it in that column. Wisconsin, as of right now, according to my forecast, is a 9.7 percentage point victory, and so with all that factors, especially since this was a really close state back then, and now that Biden's very unpopular, you do have the state trending to the right ever since 2012. So I am going to suggest that this state is going to go in the lean Republican column as of right now. The next state's going to be Michigan, which I do have as an 8-point victory for Donald Trump. As of right now, the state has been semi-trending to the right. However, it did kind of slightly revert backwards in 2020. So there are signs of some regression for Republicans here. However, I do expect it to be such a large margin of victory that I'm going to put it in the lean Republican column in my battleground map. And so for Pennsylvania, same exact thing. Voter registration is looking really good for President Biden here as of right now. At least for President Trump, because of the fact that Republicans have been gaining, voter registration. The governor here essentially wanted to impose automatic voting registration. However, that was not beneficial to them and actually backfired quite a bit. Republicans closed the gap by like 200,000 votes, probably even more than that. Now, Virginia is going to be toss-up. The polling aggregate, according to Decision Desk HQ, Biden leads by 0.1% as of right now, which officially marks this in the toss-up category. My forecast has it going to Trump by 1.4 percentage points. And so we're going to be putting that in the toss-up category as of right now. It's just insane because this state was a likely margin of victory. I would have not even classified this as a battleground state last time, and now it's considered a battleground state. New York is going to go in the lean Democrat column. Now, you guys may say, whoa, like that's crazy. There's no way that that's going to go lean. Well, polling has been very competitive, has been under 10 points for the past 2 or 3 polls. And we did have a poll where you did include third-party, candidates, and it does actually have the race within 7 points. It's a 6-point victory for Biden in that poll. Right now, my forecast has the state as a 10.2 percentage point victory for Joe Biden, and so that does put it in the basically plus 65 chance, but not necessarily a 95% chance to go to Joe Biden as of right now, which is very insane. And the last state categorization here is going to be New Jersey. We do see that it barely goes in this column, as of right now. It is barely in the lean column. This state was a state that voted for Joe Biden by 16 points, but my forecast does have it as a 4-point win. And on top of that, we do see that the state has been trending to the right. You did have a governor's race be very close there, but polling even indicates that New Jersey is going to be within 5 points. And so that would be a huge tectonic shift for Donald Trump this election. New Hampshire and Maine at large are effectively toss-ups as of right now, so that's where I pretty much see those being at. Maine at large, my forecast has it really close, and despite polling having Donald Trump ahead by quite a bit, a lot of those polls have a lot of undecideds, and it is a very white state, and I don't have white shifting enough to the right for a state like this to actually flip. New Hampshire is in the lean column, or at least is in the toss-up category. My forecast has it in the lean column for Donald Trump, but I actually don't really suspect the state to be a lean Republican, for example. I do think it could go either way as of right now. And so my final battleground map for this election has Donald Trump at 313 electoral college votes, already outright winning the presidential election, and Joe Biden just sits at 191 electoral college votes, with New Mexico, Minnesota, Virginia, Maine at large, and New Hampshire being up for grabs as of right now. If you guys disagree, make sure to comment down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And so I hope to see you guys very, very soon.